Hey, what's up, you guys? So there is undoubtedly one question being asked when it comes to the cruise ship industry, and that's if it's safe to be on a cruise ship right now. Well, in today's episode, we're going to talk about that very subject. Along with that, we're going to talk about if it's safe to even book a cruise anytime in the near future. And if you do, why it may be in your best benefit. We're going to go over that and, of course, a little bit more in today's episode. So sit tight and enjoy another episode of Ship Life.
Let's go!
Alright, you guys, so before we dive too deep into today's episode, first and foremost, I hope everybody is doing well. My name is Jay. Welcome to the Ship Life, where I talk about all things regarding cruise ships and the cruise ship industry. If this happens to be your first time visiting my channel, please make sure you subscribe so that you get notified whenever I post my new videos. So by now, I'm sure we all know what's posing a big health risk to the cruise ship industry and the world at large. However, here on YouTube, I just recently found out we're not allowed to say, you know what, on YouTube. So I'm not going to say the word, but I think we all know what we're talking about here today. Anyway, so the cruise ship industry is absolutely massive, with over 25 million people cruising as passengers and guests every year, and over 5 million people working on cruise ships as crew members. It's easy to say that it has a very, very large impact on the world and continues to get bigger and bigger every single year. Now, with cruising being such a huge travel and vacation option, you gotta understand that with that large amount of people, there's definitely gonna be some health risk involved, which I've explained in plenty of my videos. Now, given the current state of the world and the situation in particular, a lot of questions have obviously been asked. One that I'm gonna be talking about in this video, which is it safe to be on a cruise ship right now? Now, before I answer this question, guys, please understand that this is my own personal opinion with the information and facts that have been given out to the general public. So what I say is in no way, shape, or form affiliated with any kind of cruise line, because I am not an official spokesman for the cruise ship industry. So keep that in mind, please. Now, obviously, there is no real super cut and dry answer to this question, but if it had to be my personal opinion, I would say that honestly, I would wait until things cool down a little bit before I even considered jumping on a cruise ship. Here's why. Now, when you look at the facts currently available to the general public, you understand that this is a bigger deal, and it goes a lot further than the country of origin in which this sickness started. Now, there are ships that have been quarantined, there are ships that have been banned from being docked, meaning they can't even get the people off or on. There are people in the hospital, and this even goes as far as spread, not just the country of origin, which is in Asia, it's also spreading to the US as well. Now, when you consider those facts, you understand that it may be time to take some kind of a step away from that travel option. And as somebody that has worked on cruise ships, and during my contracts, to be honest with you guys, I can't even count the times that I got sick, because you have to understand, which I explain in a lot of my videos, that when you're on a cruise ship, you don't really have a lot of options as far as where you can go. Now, given the ship does go to a lot of islands and ports and gives you the option to kind of roam around free somewhat, while you're on board, you're in a tin can on water, and there's not a lot of options. Yeah, the ship may be big, like my ship, for example, just happened to be the 5th largest ship in the world. However, in comparison to the rest of the world, obviously that's not a lot of room. And one person could potentially spread one disease to everybody on board. And I do mean potentially. However, you just never know. For example, I was on the ship when we had what was called GI. Basically, it's when you lose control of your bowel movements and you vomit. It's not pretty at all, but we had an outbreak on our ship, and we got that from a ship that had it on another island. So basically, our guests from one island got it and then gave it to us. Now, you got to look at it from that perspective. It's not hard to understand that people travel, obviously, and not everybody on the ship is from the same destination where the ship picked everybody up from, the port that everybody came from. If you're in New York, that doesn't mean that everybody that's boarding the ship in New York is from New York. They can come from any place. It could be the country of origin. It could be next to it. It could be, wherever. And you guys got to keep that in mind. Or, it could even be the same continent. You just never know. And it could be that one person that just happened to contracted disease from somebody else. Excuse me. Just keep in mind that if there is one disease in one part of the world, does not mean that it can't easily spread to another part of the world. The world is definitely a lot smaller than what it used to be, and everything is easily accessible. All I gotta say is, in my opinion, you guys should maybe just reconsider your travel options if you want to go on a cruise. If you happen to, of course, just do the basic safety things that you're supposed to be doing when something like this is going down. I'm not saying everybody has to wear a mask or anything like that, but of course, wash your hands, take care of yourself, pay attention to whatever information is being given out by either the captain or whoever is telling you to do something. That's all I got to say on the situation. That's my personal opinion. Now, let's go ahead and talk about why I believe that you guys should or should not book a cruise anytime in the near future. Now, obviously, there is no sure way to tell exactly how long this situation is going to last, given the size of the situation. And obviously, with spring literally right around the corner, I know a lot of people want to book their cruises. However, you do got to consider the fact that this may get worse before it gets better. Now, is it a good idea? That right there is the question of the day, whether you should book a cruise anytime in the near future. Let's talk about it. So if I have to give an answer right now, looking at all the facts, I would say yes and no when it comes to buying a cruise in the near future. No, because if you look at it, like I just said, there is no telling exactly when this is going to be over. Also, along with that, you gotta understand there's been a lot of cancellations lately. Of course, that's mainly around like Asia area. However, you never know. This could spread, which it is, and you could book a cruise to the Caribbean or Jamaica or wherever, and you come to find out that that gets canceled. What do you do? For those of you guys that don't know, it is a pain trying to get your money refunded or trying to reschedule a trip. It isn't a fun experience. So on that note, I would say definitely not to booking a cruise at the moment, at least anytime in the near future. Now, the only reason that I would say yes to booking a cruise right now or just like in the near future would be because it could possibly be in your best financial benefit. I say that because when cruise ships are doing bad publicly, right, when they have like a bad reputation or there's something going on like a sickness or anything like that, it can be hard for them to make sales. So what do? Like any company, they will lower the price. So right now may possibly be your best chance to cash in on a pretty cheap cruise if you can find it. I'm not saying that they're out there, but I'm saying the potential for that happening is pretty large. So you guys got to keep that in mind when it comes to the situation. But of course, in my personal opinion, that'd be the only reason to book a cruise right now or anytime in the near future. Of course, though, you have to keep in mind the risk of cancellation or even getting sick. So beginning on Monday next week, I'm going to start making videos basically talking about specifically what's going on with each individual cruise line. As most of you guys know, there are a lot of things going on with Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Costa, even Princess Cruise Lines as well. We're going to talk about all that individually. Basically take a deeper dive into what's going on to the ship industry. Also, on this Sunday as well, I'm going to make a general video basically explaining to you guys what's going on with ship life, what the plans are, what the schedule is going to look like. Because as most of you guys know, I did stop doing it for a little while, but the ship life is here to stay. We're not going anywhere. I'm just going to inform you guys on what's going on. Basically give you an update. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope everybody's doing well as always. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you write it in the comment box below. But until Sunday, I'll see you guys later. Take care.